Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw number 211, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. So as ever, let's crack on. First one is Nissan, and this is from Japan, and this is Animalert. And as it implies, this is to alert animals of the presence of electric cars, or cars I guess in general, to stop them getting squashed. Apparently 120,000 animals are squashed on Japan's roads every year, so this is the fight back. So it's a special sound the car emits, only animals can hear it, humans can't apparently, and they run away. It's a special frequency. So, but this is a demo, and it's actually targeted very specifically at, and I assume this is how you say it, the Amami rabbit, which is a very unfortunate name for a rabbit, but there you go. And it's only found on 2 islands, so therefore it's a very specific test. So there you go, kind of interesting. Animalert, new demo. This is news from China, and this is cool, obviously, and the world should really do more of this. Europe obviously are doing some of this already, but this is a new law to label AI content on the internet in China. Not quite sure what the jeopardy if you don't do this is. It doesn't really specify that, but assuming it's a decent penalty. However, if you have, as they've got on the side here, you've got explicit labeling. So for instance, you know, it actually says it. So for images, videos, also things like chats, if there's any audio that's created, it needs to be labeled at the point where you actually use it. But also there might be some implicit labeling like metadata. So anything that's generated needs to actually have basically what encoded it, when it was encoded, who encoded it, and basically what for. Now, there are 3 levels that they were talking about here. There's implicit, i.e. it's known about, it's obvious, they may be found out through the metadata. If somebody reports it, and there needs to be a function where people can report what they suspect to be AI data, then it's given a possible AI generated label. And also if it's detected, i.e. it wasn't implicit, it's not been reported, but it's showing signs of being AI generated, then it needs to be actually suspected label on it as well. So there's more to it than that, but there you go, interesting, more of that please. This is the Atlas robot. We've seen it before. The updates are a bit few and far between. There are other robots that have got a little bit more heat of late. However, this is a new cool demo, so it can do things like breakdancing and flips and stuff. So if you're interested in that, no, there's no more really to say about it other than it's a robot now that can do weird things. Occasionally it does that really weird backflip with its legs, but it can do breakdancing moves that I can't do. As we've recently seen, there's biking robots that can do biking I can't do, but there you go. Interesting, well done. By the way, if you didn't know, Boston Dynamics is South Korean. I didn't know it was actually bought by Hyundai a couple of years ago. Amazon have updated their terms of service, or they are doing in America for certain Amazon Alexa devices. So this has caused a lot of consternation. So I've sort of dug a bit into it to find out what it is. So really what they're doing is they're saying with the Alexa Plus, which is the new AI version of Alexa, because let's face it, Alexa is terrible, always has been. So they're now going to put AI at it. And also you can have this, basically the voice ID, who's speaking to your Alexa, needs more processing. So initially, or in some devices, what you can do is you can have a conversation with it. It processes it on the device, turns it into text, and sends the text over to Amazon to get basically turned into a response. Most other devices actually just send the raw audio. So that text local processing is now not available. So all devices will always be sending all text to Amazon. They say, of course, they're going to delete it, and they do delete it. It's encrypted. Of course it is. However, if you're in any, this is also probably coming to the rest of the world as well, but it's only in America at the moment. March 28th is the cutoff for this. So this is the email that people are getting sent if you have some of those devices. You may not have them, in which case it doesn't affect you. And also you might not even care, in which case it doesn't affect you either. But there you go. This is obviously where we're going, and more stuff getting sent to Amazon. This might be the future of fridges. Some reason I always report about fridges. I haven't really got a thing for fridges, but this is a magnetocaloric cooling. So what it actually does is really interesting. Most fridges use a gas and a heat exchanger, and basically expanding gas is basically you rip off the temperature from that and it cools it down, and that's what cools your fridge down. Where this uses a slightly different technique. It uses magnets. So it's a special material that if you put a magnet next to it, you can make it heat up or you can make it cool down. So if you use that heat and you get rid of that heat and then you cool it down, and then when you heat it up again, you get rid of that heat and you cool it down, the net effect is, if you always get rid of the heat, the net effect is to cool it down. So this is apparently 30% more efficient than normal fridges, which is a huge amount. There's a huge amount of the world's resources go into refrigeration, you know, in things like shops and also domestic as well. So there you go. Unfortunately, it's hugely expensive right now, so not many people are going to be using this, but really, really interesting if the world can do this. BYD have announced their latest charger, and this is what they call the megawatt flash charger. And it uses a megawatt, 1,000 kilowatts. So I think it's 1,000 amps and 1,000 volts. Therefore, you get your kilowatts out of that. Why is this interesting? Well, as I say in the title, you can get 400 kilometers out of a 5-minute charge, which is, you know, one of those kind of range anxiety things. And you go, well, actually, as long as you can find one of these things, then all of a sudden, 5 minutes, you've got 400 kilometers, which is amazing. And if you're interested, this is about twice as fast as a Tesla supercharger. So there you go. So so BYD, big manufacturer of cars in China, electric cars, probably taking the seat there. This is Giggle Gladiators, and this is the and finally. I just found this. So I found a few AI generated games real time. So this is on Twitch and it's live streaming. It's probably there right now. So click on the link and have a go. But what it does is people suggest a phrase or a thing. It generates that thing, you know, it's like, you know, these guys here, and it just generates them. It creates an image of it. It then creates a 3D model of that image. It then puts it onto a character rig and then drops them onto this battle royale island where they then basically then just do battle. One of them will win. One of them will therefore stay on. The other one gets killed and gets whisked off, and therefore it just goes around again. So people submitting crazy, weird descriptions just get made into characters. Sort of fascinating, but there you go. If you're interested in that, it's quite interesting TV. Anyway, hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully it was useful. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, and I'll see you next week.